What's up, everybody? It is Thursday night. We have a special early edition of the draft show here at Fantasy and Frames coming at you right now. It is 8:30. You got Keith and I. We are holding the fort down while the rest of these slackers are over in Canton at the expo. Keith, are you ready to go? You ready to do some drafts?
Yeah, just the two of us. What
Us.
what could be any better, right?
Let's go. Well, Keith, I sure hope that this is live. If there's anybody in the chat listening, let us know. Because I got a little notification after I hit the music, and there's like a little exclamation point up there at the top. I'm not really sure what that means. So hopefully we're live. If we're not, I don't know what to tell you. But we're here.
It says we're live. In the corner, it says we're
Yeah.
good, at least on YouTube and Facebook. I don't know
Okay.
about Twitter. That might be the one. Sometimes that happens where there's something issues. I don't know. I don't understand how this stuff works. I'm a country bumpkin. Jamie's in the chat.
Jamie's
so
here.
we're alive and ready to roll.
Yeah, we are. All right. Well, we're live. Thanks, Jamie. Good to know we are live. Thank God we didn't say anything that would get us fired, Keith, right?
I'm never worried about getting fired. I'm too valuable at this point, Stacy.
Getting fired from our volunteer jobs.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, guys. Well, like I said, you have got Keith and I here. We're holding the fort down while everybody else is in Canton. I'm going to Canton tomorrow. But our Fourth and Frames crew is, I think everybody except for me is out there at Canton. So if you see them at the bar, go up and tell them hey. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Keith, you're gonna see us next year at the expo.
Yeah, I hate that I can't go. It's just we have a lot of stuff going on. We're going to Panama City in 2 weeks. And if it was closer, which is something I keep telling people, if I could drive there, 1,000% would have made it this year. I'm very jealous. FOMO is alive and well for your boy. But I'm excited for everybody that is going. I do want to wish fellow member of this show and new member of the Daily Fix, Kevin Tompkins, a very happy birthday. I hope right now he can't even say his name. He's so drunk in celebration. But I hope Kevin's having a great time and a great birthday. If I'm not mistaken, it's the big 4-0.
It is.
It's just a number, Kev, so don't worry about it.
Or you're falling off the cliff, just like all those wide receivers turning 30, pushed right off the cliff.
Mike Evans is like, he resents that comment. So
Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, they, all resent it. What's up, Scamp? See you over here in the chat, you and Jamie. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, I know Scampers. I met Scampers last year at the expo. Scampers and Dame Overboard as well. There. So I'm bummed I'm not going to get to see you guys. But you know what? Like I said, always next year. Always next year. If you haven't been to the expo before, this is my plug for it. You should definitely go. It's a great time if you can make it. Great chance to just interact with everybody that you see and chat with online all the time and see them in person. All right, Keith. So we're gonna be drafting a Best Ball Mania tonight, as promised. This is my 14th Best Ball Mania, which is low. I all this week, like I was on with Scott Connor last night, and he's done 80 at this point. So I feel like I'm slacking like big time. So we're gonna do
draft. Like DFS is right around the corner, so trust me, I will have so many lineups once DFS starts each week that it'll make you feel like you're underplaying or overplaying, lineups. It's outrageous. And I am ready for DFS because y'all are definitely the best ball experts. I'm trying to learn and get into it more this year because I think it is closer to DFS than probably anything else in fantasy. But I also like that instant satisfaction. It is kind of a bummer having to wait to the end of the year where I'll know by the end of the 4:00 games how much money I won or lost.
That's true. I mean, that's kind of the instant gratification part is what I really enjoy about these underdog drafts because, if you're just like itching to draft, you can automatically just jump on and it is full within a couple minutes and you're ready to go. So speaking of that, if you are listening and watching you want to jump in and draft with us right now, go ahead. I am hitting the enter button right this minute. Got to hit that extra little confirm. We got 2 spots left. There are 2 spots left in this draft. So, oh, well, never mind. We are all full. That was quick.
Alive and well.
Alive and well. Let's see who's in here. Let's see if we got any of our friends and family in here. I don't recognize any of these names.
Which might be a good thing. I know that lately we've been doing these where only one team will get out of the league, and we have 4 people in them. I'm going, man, 3 of y'all are going to be eliminated at minimum when we make the playoffs, which that's kind of a bummer, you know. But it'll be good bragging rights for the crew when we reach that point.
Oh, it absolutely will be. Draft starts in 25 seconds. We are coming at you from the 3rd spot. I never get the 3rd spot, so this will be fun. Also not a ton of badges in this one. We only have 3, so that'll be new.
What is your spot you prefer? Because I saw something interesting on Twitter today where a guy was saying that this year, because if you look at the top 11 and there's a pretty significant drop off at 12, he thinks 12 is one of the worst draft positions. I disagree because I just love having back-to-back. To me, I'd always want to have either 1 or 12. I just think it makes the draft so much easier knowing you can't get sniped. I mean, obviously you can get sniped. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, when it comes up to your picks, you get 2 people that you want. You don't have to worry about, will this guy be around when I come back? Where is kind of your bread and butter if you had to, like, pick a position?
Yeah, I'm more of a 5-6 kind of girl. That's where I really like to live. I don't really, unless it's thrown on a versal, then I'm fine with being at the end. But, I don't.
You like knowing you get a stud? Is that what it is by picking 5-6?
Yeah. And that way I know for sure that within reason, if there's a guy out there that I really want, I'm going to be able to take him. Yeah. Speaking of, we're on the clock. I don't have a ton of Tyreek Hill, so that's happening tonight.
Hello.
Let's go.
Best ball. Go. Is there a better guy to have? Who else has had more probably 40-point games than Tyreek Hill in the history of fantasy football?
Have you seen the AI press conference with Mike McDaniels?
I have not, but somebody was telling me about this yesterday. Ooh, AI is going to be a scary thing.
It is. That's hysterical. Talking about how Tyreek has got, I forget how many kids per yards that he has. It's fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So I took Tyreek Hill. Let's go take a look at Miami's correlation options. We got Houston, we got San Francisco, and then we end the season in Cleveland. Okay, so those are some fun options.
Do you want to share the board, Stacy?
You know what? I probably should share the board, Keith. Thank you for reminding me to do that. I'm over here trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
I like prep on your end, but I'm going, I have no idea what's going on, Stacy.
No, I appreciate you for reminding me.
I will always riff, but
I was over here. I'm still trying to figure out why it's not broadcasting over Twitter and just through Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, so. It's like I said, it's some issue. It was with Facebook for a while with us. I'll have to let Jorge know, but that was that exclamation point I think that you got at the beginning was letting you know that it would not go there. Just to go over the first round, CMC, no shocker there. Lamb, you went with Tyreek. Chase, Brown, Jefferson. I still can't believe Jefferson is going as the 5th receiver in most drafts. I think people are seriously missing out there. Bijan, Brees, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Debo, Puka, Marvin Harrison. And I want to explain why I say that with Jefferson is me being the nerd I am and doing prep for the first week because we did our first episode of the Daily Fix talking about week 1 because the pricing's out. I went back and looked at Jefferson's 10 games last year. If you take away the game he was injured week 5, he played only 40% of the snaps. And then same deal for the first game back. And the other 8, over 11 targets, almost 8 receptions, almost 130 yards, 25 points per game. The big difference or thing for me is the difference between his games with Cousins and the games with Hall and Mullins, not as much as you would think, about 16 yards per game. And he still scored at least 23.6 points per game with Mullins Hall. So whatever you think of McCarthy Darnold, I think that's probably around his floor. And the big thing for me too is, Addison's now in trouble with the law. / the team. Hawkinson will be out to week 8. I think people are sleeping on Jefferson. I think he has the upside of the other guys, like the ceiling, but his floor, I think, is higher than anybody other than maybe CeeDee Lamb.
I agree. And, I'm going to roll the dice here and say that Brandon Ayuk stays on the Niners.
I hope so. I don't know why he would want to go to Pittsburgh. Do you
I don't know either,
the,
but I can see Team 11 over here is banking on him getting bumped because he's taking Debo in the first round, which is wild.
Especially because Debo is not a down the field pass catcher.
Right.
I understand that you would think Debo's volume would go up a little bit, but he's not going to be doing the role of what Ayuk is. And it's actually, we were talking about this with Ryan Mulvey, who hosts ESPN Northwest Florida's Inside Drive and is a huge Niners fan. You got guys like Jennings, Bell, what is the rookie? I'm blanking on, Purcell. Like those guys would be in line to be the deep threat. And obviously I think Kittle would have a much higher value because I think he would also be one of those guys that's a down the field pass option in that offense.
Yeah. I think Jamie's got it right here. Are you chasing the money instead of championships? Yeah. Because any of those teams that he's been linked to, whether it's, Cleveland, the Patriots, Steelers, like none of those teams are in line to win championships.
How do the Browns have any money left? They're paying Deshaun Watson $1 billion. Yeah. They got Amari Cooper, like Myles Garrett. I don't understand.
Yeah,
like how do they keep doing this?
Are they printing money? Is it like the Saints where they just keep like printing money and no one knows how they keep like escaping the cap situation?
And ironically, both those teams still suck. So it's pretty perfect.
Yeah. Well, the Browns,
sorry, Browns fan. Defense. I do like no disrespect.
Defense,
fuck the Saints, but no disrespect to the Browns.
Did my boy Tank just get taken over Stephon Diggs?
I think that's right.
I think it looks like it. I don't know if that's right.
No, I think that is right. The guy that I just don't want, like he's on my do not draft list, is Stephon Diggs. I'm so concerned. Yes, because of where he's going. I don't want to make it seem like it's not impossible, obviously, that he would have this monster season, but he is somebody who has thrived in part due to an unreal target share and volume. And I think Nico is going to be the number one option in that offense in the passing game. I think Tank Dell is the more explosive guy that we're going to see really big games mixed in with some games with not so much. And I think Diggs is going to have a role, but I didn't understand the trade when they made it. And I hope he's not a headache because CJ Stroud's, one of the best young QBs I've ever seen. And Diggs historically, if he doesn't get the ball, he lets you know about it, but hopefully he'll be on best behavior because he's got a contract situation, which is I think what the Texans were, playing for.
He's got a 1-year prove-it deal. I think he's going to be on good behavior this year and kind of have a chip on his shoulder when to get back out there. I'm all in on Diggs. I'm all in on that entire offense.
I like the offense. It does concern me about Diggs where he's going because, for instance, Higgins, Cooper, like Pittman, I think all these guys that are going right now around them, I think they're going to end up probably with more targets than Diggs. And maybe I'm completely wrong and Diggs ends up being, the number one option in that offense. But if you just look at the way Collins was down the stretch and then how much Dell was involved when Dell and Collins were on the field together, it's also going to be fascinating to see how much three receivers, how many three wide receiver sets they play and where they line them up. Who's going to be the slot receiver most of the time? Because Diggs does most of his damage from the slot.
He does. Well, what's interesting too, and I had looked this up for, so an article I did a little while ago, specifically on this offense is even with Collins and Dell with the targets they had last year, if you take the targets from Noah Brown and the ghost of Robert Woods, you've got 131 targets that are available between
the Schultz ones. You'd have to think Schultz's targets are going to go down a little bit.
They might go down a little bit, but I think I'm more with those two guys. And if you're going to tell me that Diggs could potentially get, let's say, even like close to 130 targets, sure, go ahead, that's fine. Because I think the losers here are going to be Brown and Robert Woods for sure.
This comment right here, I love it. Yes, that is something I've already done in one of the 5 best ball drafts. I haven't. Like Stacy's done 14 just in this best
Just
ball format. I've done 5 this year, but that is one of the ones I did because I think that McCarthy's going to end up being the QB. The reports are he's looked great. He's the most ready of these rookie QBs, in my opinion, to start right now. Like, and that's no disrespect to Caleb Williams, Daniels, because he might not be, be the last one out of those guys, obviously, to start. But McCarthy is ready for it. And again, I just think Jefferson at the 5th, 6th pick is such a steal. And then we saw with Addison, especially in a best ball format, he seems to put up monster games. Like, he has a lot of games where he doesn't do anything, but he's a guy that can take, 4 receptions and have 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the only thing I would say with the Addison and McCarthy and JJ, a stack with that, I would just be careful how many receivers do you have before you're taking Addison? Because if you're hoping that he's going to start,
what's his ADP?
You're gonna have to give me 2.
Probably in the 40 range, maybe. Is that about right?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm on the clock. Hang on.
Yeah, you're good.
And
don't you worry about anything.
For you. All right. Where's
your boy Laporta going tight end 1 again? I just do not understand it, especially in half point PPR, because he will not have more receptions than Kelsey, Kincaid, or McBride. So now you're talking about nothing but hoping he, repeats that touchdown deal.
So Addison's ADP currently in this draft in BBM is he's at 85.
Yeah, he has him going in the 10th.
And Brown.
Is kind of
that might be a little but
I think that's fair.
I think so. I just worry about him, the possible suspension that's probably coming. You never know. I mean, it could not. That stuff takes forever to get through. Wait, what'd you say?
Yes, like 4 games is kind of what we're expecting.
3 or 4 is what I'm hearing. That's the only thing I would worry about is if you're taking him as a guy that you're going to count on to start every week. If you're taking him as your 4th, receiver or your 5th receiver in this format all day long. Same with Rashee Rice. I mean, it's just the suspension thing that you just got to worry about a little bit and playing around. So that's my only problem. If I'm taking him to start, I don't know that I'm wanting to do that. But if I can get him at a value when I've got a ton of other guys, like in this format that I'm doing, or this build that I've got with Hill, Ayuk, Adams, and Christian Kirk, I don't need him to start. I need him as a bye week fill-in. So.
Absolutely. All right, Stacy. So I want to do something fun since it's just the 2 of us, and we're going to make these other goobers do this shit when they get back. But getting to know the draft show peeps. So we'll start, and I can answer this first question. When did we join Fantasy and Frames? For me, it'll be a 3-year anniversary. We started 2 years, or what will be 3 seasons ago. Me and Joe Matz both came over to the DFS show. Big shout out to Seth Woolock of In Between Media, who I reached out, was looking for a new place to do my DFS content. He hooked me up with Jorge, and it's been a match made in heaven ever since. Very thankful for that. When did you join officially, Stacy?
I was January of last year. So January.
Was it really just? Oh my goodness! It feels longer. I feel like I've known you forever now. In the best way,
exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly. Just to answer your question on here, suspension probably not going to be this year, but I wouldn't put it past anything crazy happening. So that's my only concern with that.
All right, sports teams, because that's the next thing. For me, feel sorry for me. I am an Atlanta fan. I root for the Falcons, the Hawks. The Braves are kind of doing their best Falcons and Hawks impersonation right now. And thank the gods, I'm a huge UGA Dogs fan. So they have brought me a lot of joy in the 2020s. I know you've got a wide variety because you're a Braves fan, correct? Packers football, right?
Yeah, so I'm a Packer fan. Go Pack Go. And which is weird because I live in Tampa, from Tampa. But when I started playing fantasy football with my dad when I was a kid, our first draft pick ever was Brett Favre. And so that is how I ended up becoming a Packer fan. It hasn't really aged well, but that's okay. Still a Packer fan. And then I'm a Braves fan because growing up in the 90s, they were on TBS every single day, and we didn't have the
Lightning
Braves.
fan, right?
Big, huge Lightning fan. I got into hockey maybe like 8 years ago. And now I have season tickets. I'm at almost every single home game.
The best live sport of any of the main ones, in my opinion, by a mile. And I'm not even a hockey fan, and I love going to hockey games.
Oh,
it's just a lot of fun.
Amazing. And I got to see, really, person in front of me.
The Deontay or the Ferguson?
No, it's the Deontay pick right there. I don't have any Deontay. I was all set up perfectly to take. All right, I guess I gotta. Ooh. Oh, that's kind of sexy.
Wow, somebody just took Christian Watson with the injury. Oh my God, that is ridiculous.
What?
You getting Ingram there. 4th in targets last year, and it's only going. I just want to say, too, that stack of Kirk and Ingram is, I think, so underrated. I think both of those guys are being slept on. You look, both are target monsters anyway in the Jacksonville offense. And now Ridley's gone, who obviously ate into it, Zay Jones. But the big thing is their only issue since they've been in Jacksonville is not a lot of red zone targets. Well, 65% of Lawrence's red zone targets last year went to those two guys that left. Not saying that Ingram and Kirk are going to get like a majority of that, but even if it's just 20 to 25% of those red zone targets that go away, their touchdowns go up. I mean, I think both of them are potential huge like jump up category. I mean, Ingram is the biggest value at tight end, I think, by far. If you want to maybe say Pitts because he might have a little higher ceiling, I get that, but I think Ingram is such a safe play because especially in PPR leagues, how many targets and receptions we know he's going to grab.
Yeah, I think so. Again,
Jesus, I saw that one coming. That's rough.
That is. That's just rude. All right.
Hey, Daniels.
Not right now. That's a thought.
You think he makes it back?
We're gonna have to make this work. Do I think Daniels makes it back? Probably not.
Yeah. I want to say too, the Richardson pick that was made, what was he, the 5th or 6th QB off the board? I think that is such immense value. And for best ball, I've got him, I believe, in 3 of those 5 that I've done. I'm okay taking him a little early and then, grabbing a Stafford, a Baker, or something later to where I feel like I have insurance. I have a guy, and I've actually got 3 QBs every time I've gotten Richardson, just in case, because you have to have insurance with a QB that runs that much. But I just keep telling people, it reminds me so much of the Jalen Hurts first full year as a starter. A lot of people were talking about the potential of him scoring, 25 plus points a game and all this, but they were scared to take him early. The people that did I believe he finished either QB1 or QB2. It's the same offense. I mean, if Richardson's healthy, I would be shocked if he's, not a top 5 QB this year.
Yeah. I think so. Let me ask you, speaking of QBs, is your boy Loud McConkey here going as the 81 pick overall in the 7th round? Question for you. I love me some Loud McConkey, but how are we feeling with the injury to Justin Herbert?
I mean, it concerns me a little bit early in the year because obviously if anybody needed to get timing and stuff down with Herbert, it would be Ladd. The one thing that makes me not as leery is just the fact that Ladd really put up great numbers with Stetson Bennett. And I'm not, I'm a huge Georgia fan, so obviously Stetson Bennett won me 2 national championships. He's a god to me at this point, but not exactly an elite quarterback. So I believe he's proved already that he doesn't necessarily need this superstar QB. What's up, Jorge?
Jorge, how many drinks have we had so far?
So sorry for the impromptu visit here, but we're at the Fantasy Football Expo. And Kevin Tompkins, if you're watching, get your ass down to the bar. You have birthday shots waiting for you. Stop running away.
He's drunk, passed out in the gutter, bro. We talked to him just a minute. He's in the gutter.
Didn't hear a word you just said, but hopefully Kevin Tompkins heard that. Sorry for interrupting. You all are doing great. Talk to
Jorge,
you
you look
later.
awesome, buddy.
See you tomorrow,
Take
Chief.
care.
See ya.